I can feel like some gas moving, ready to come out of my asshole. What is up, guys? Today, this episode is hosted... I just farted. This episode is hosted by, of course, Dane and Israel again. And today we have our guest, our friend Henry.
Howdy.
Howdy do. Is episode number 27?
7.
Yep.
You just missed the half a year mark. What's wrong with you?
Sorry about that, man. I've been saying I wanted to be here. Leaving me out.
I mean, I think Gage still has more episodes on the podcast than Ty, which is pretty funny.
He's in the army.
No, he's in federal prison now.
Oh, yeah.
Because he
war
fled the army to be on the podcast, and then he got caught.
Yeah.
Nate, again, still lost in that maze. Haven't heard from him in a long time.
It's been 3 weeks now.
Ty's still celebrating that birthday. So, that's what's up.
That's what's up.
I think if they're not here by next episode, we're going to have to pass a moment of silence for them because I think they will truly be dead by then.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption.
I don't think you can survive... How long is it? Like 4 weeks in a maze without food?
No, I don't think you can survive 4 weeks on just cake, birthday cake either, so...
You probably can. But I would throw up.
Yeah.
I give it 5 or 6 before you die on birthday cake.
Birthday cake probably has a surprising amount of vitamins in it.
You'd eventually get like scurvy.
Unless it was like a key lime cake. That's pie.
That's not real.
Well, yeah, and then Gage is in solitary confinement, so he'll survive, but just barely. So, crazy stuff, man. I don't even know.
I got a new job.
Yeah, you got a new job. It's pretty awesome.
Hopefully it makes me want to kill myself a little bit less.
Yeah.
It will. I guarantee it. Like,
Henry has the same job.
Yeah. I've been doing more of the live chat stuff now, and you'd think people's English would get better, like, on...
When it's auto-corrected for them?
Yeah, you'd think that, but it totally doesn't. It's the accents come through regardless. It's impressive.
That's just how it works in the, cam girl industry. Moderating that live chat.
Hey, could you please stop saying that the live streamer has cute boobs? That's really kind of weird.
Can you please stop flicking your bean so hard?
We actually did have to ban, like, we had to, like, blacklist a guy, like a customer, for saying weird shit to our to our female representatives. Like, it was wild.
Oh, yeah, say you can't give me 100% return one more time.
Can you give an example?
Like, the guy, it was wild. The guy was like, he asked for like a picture of one of them, and I'm trying to remember. He asked for like phone numbers and weird stuff like that, and it's just like the first time it happened, we were like, all right, this dude's a retired Floridian. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Like,
Let's go ahead and dox that guy.
maybe you forgot that it wasn't the 50s or something. And then the second time we're like, my man, you're not even a good customer. We've been doing this dance with him for years at a time where he buys like one brand new racket or something, uses it exactly the amount necessary to void the warranty, so that we have to give him partial store credit for it.
God.
We lose money when that happens. He loses money when that happens. Like, nobody was happy.
Hey, he's got to get them digits, though. That's such like a weird... He's been doing this for years?
For years at a time.
That's so weird. That's such like a bottom of the barrel way to get somebody's phone number.
The blacklist at this company is not a long one. It takes a lot of effort.
It takes a lot of...
I think I could get on the blacklist.
Blacklist, Tennis Warehouse blacklist speedrun.
Hi, is this insert other tennis store name here.
Are you gonna? No, I don't think you should say anything that would get you on the blacklist. Maybe.
I just said.
Oh.
You just call repeatedly and ask for a different place.
Oh. Is this Pizza Hut? No, this is
My pizza butt.
my pizza butt.
Henry's a lawyer. Tell
Yeah.
us about being a lawyer.
Well, I've still got a little ways to go, but I am trying. I am on the triple law class grind at the moment.
Are you gonna do that thing where you're like, objection, like the video game?
Exactly.
Tell us
like
how being a lawyer has made you a higher level in the military than Gage, who is physically in the military.
Yeah, I have literally done exactly nothing in the military, and none of you can see this, but I am an E5 and he is an E1.
Yeah.
Strictly speaking, I am a sergeant. And
What?
Yeah, no, technically speaking, I'm a sergeant.
That's so
States
awesome.
Army. And that's pretty rad. But
I bet he loves that.
Oh,
Yeah,
he was
no,
furious when I told him.
well, I sent like a picture of like the bottom part showing the pay grade, and he was like, "What the fuck? Why are you in E5?"
Oh man, that's so awesome.
His plan was, at least I think, was to attend college and then join the military so he would have a higher rank.
Yeah.
And then he just didn't do that.
Well, then he had the worst teacher on the planet for anatomy, and then he just got like depressed because
that
of
guy
it.
was an asshole.
He was a straight up a-hole, like without a doubt.
He like I was curious about that because something like I know he was entertaining the idea of like joining the military, but then something lit a fire under his ass.
No, Gage has always said he wanted to be in the military.
Yeah, he
ever
wanted
since I
to.
knew him,
He
like,
wanted
first met
to
him.
join this fall, but instead he joined last fall.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
and he's trying to be a combat medic, right?
he was. No, it switched like 5 times. I don't even know at this point.
Really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but he's out there. He's in it.
He's wild and
Hopefully, he's just hoping he doesn't get deployed to the Midwest or the Middle East. He just really doesn't want to be in the middle of either. So,
he just doesn't like to be in the middle of things.
yeah, he just doesn't want to be in the middle of
In
things.
the middle of combat.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be much combat in the Midwest, but
I don't really know how it works for enlisted men, but I know that like essentially what's kind of cool about doing the officers program ahead of time is like you don't have to be in combat unless you really really want to be. Like I'm trying to join the JAG Corps and do like military law, which will still be kind of wild because
So do you want to be like a prosecutor or a defendant?
really you do everything. So as soon as
So you could defend someone who's committed war crimes.
oh absolutely
That's awesome.
yeah. The thing is like essentially how it'll work is after I get my undergraduate degree, the military will give me a choice. They'll say you can either start your commission now, which is give or take 3 or 4 years active duty, or you can apply for an education delay. And if all goes well, which I'm not entirely sure that it will, then I will be able to say, like, I got into X law school, can you pay for it? And if they say yeah, then I'll go and complete law school and then just go into like a 6 to 8 year commission for the Army, but I will be working as a JAG attorney. And they basically just have you do whatever the hell. They're like, you prosecute,
cool.
you defend.
That sounds like a long time.
yeah. But I mean, going through law school is going to be a long time either way. So
Yeah, but the big thing about it is it'll be debt free. If I can do it right, I will have gotten all the way through law school without a penny in debt.
yeah, that's the thing is, Gage is in the military right now, and he's trying to go through university to do, I think, still something to do with kinesthesiology.
Yeah, kinesthesiology.
Yeah, that one. I'm not exactly sure, but again, he'll be debt free as well.
Yeah.
Even
That's assuming he even wants to go back to college. Because
Yeah.
you develop skills in the military, and he might just be like, I want to do whatever.
Yeah, you just might.
And some people just join the military full time. I mean, they can, like, it's not, I think that's the stigma. Everybody thinks it's like you are shooting, you're getting shot at if you're in the military, but it's not. There's like, it is such a massive organization.
Well, one of the main things that like they're talking about the vaccine rollout is I think they want like the military to help because it's so like there's so much budget put into it and they can make it so efficient.
And just the manpower, it's like ridiculous.
And you could help out with that, and you'd be on the front lines, but a different kind of front line. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about.
Y'all didn't see the finger guns.
Yeah.
Thanks for the update.
But yeah, my brother thought about joining the military, but
So did I. And
I think everybody, at least male,
gives it a whirl,
is like, because they're like, for me, I want to be cinematography, and they were like, whoa, you could be like a video journalist, and I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. But then I thought, I really don't want to go through basic just to shoot video for the rest of my life. I wanted to skip the middleman.
to be
That's fair.
I can't remember what it was called, but it was like not even like a medic. It was just either you put pills in boxes for an eternity or you go with the Marines and help them. So I was like, fuck, I was born to do boring jobs. I'll put pills in boxes all fucking day. I don't care where it is. They're like, that's such a shitty place to go. It's all hot and it's boring. And I said, that's exactly what I wanted. Give me that boring shit. I'll do it for an eternity. But then I was like, fuck. That's a long time. 4 years is like, I feel like I have a short life now. So cutting that by 4 years, doing something I don't really want to do, just so I can go to college for free, was like, I don't know, man.
The reason I think I decided to go with it is like the thing is that with attorneys, a big deal with young attorneys is they'll come out of law school, they'll get hired by, John Q. firm, and they will be put to work as a paralegal for other lawyers. They will do paperwork. They'll never see the inside of a courtroom for at least a year, maybe more than that. 80-hour a week, it's ridiculous. Jeez. And it's really, really intense. But with the military, you skip all that. You just go straight into you hit the ground running. And I really liked that. And afterwards, I'll come out probably a captain, maybe even a major, and like the private sector's like, damn,
that's looking pretty good on there.
Associate partner immediately.
There's a corpsman.
What
was the job I was thinking about doing in the military? Corpsman. Put pills in boxes or throw your life away. You just
and you're like,
why not
just do 2 birds, 1 stone, man.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's efficiency.
If you were, if you were in legal and the military, would that be able to get you like a pretty good job in like the Pentagon or like one of the other kind of bureaus like that?
Theoretically, yeah. That's kind of like the ideal setup for political work. I don't really know if I want to do that because politics are scary. But the like. In theory, that's what a lot of people do. If you have military background and if you're a lawyer, you're basically a senator already. So there you go.
That's pretty sick.
What job would you have if you were missing a leg? Or if you didn't have legs, sorry.
We already talked about
If I didn't have legs?
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
Like, it has to be pretty specific to not having legs.
I'd say that, like, being a fighter pilot, that'd be pretty awesome. I don't think you do a whole lot with your feet.
That's true. It's actually feet kind of get in the way.
The brakes.
I think you actually do move the...
possible.
What is it? The not the rudders. That's a boat. No, I think it's still called... The things on the wings that like go up and down. And you know what
exactly
I'm talking about. But I think you move those with your feet, actually.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. But I know I can't be a pilot because I don't have 20/20 vision. So.
Not even 20/20 correctable?
Oh, I guess with these glasses, yeah.
Then you can actually.
Oh, Gage can't because he is colorblind.
Yeah,
So that's a
that'll
number.
do it.
We found Gage. We found out Gage was colorblind like this year.
Yeah.
Damn.
He just dropped it out of nowhere. And
Like I
Like
think he
actual-
actually announced it by saying that. He was like, "Oh yeah, I can't be a pilot because I'm colorblind."
Like red green or like
I don't
actual
remember.
honest to God just grayscale everything.
I have no idea.
it's got to be something like red green. If Gage couldn't see color like that, I think we would have known.
I think we would have
Yeah, we
known him
probably
coming to school wearing like red pants and like a and like a green shirt, and we're like, "Dude, what are you wearing?" He's like, "What? I'm wearing monochrome today."
He's like coming to school with like a shirt covered in dried cum, but he couldn't see the cum.
Just blended in. Gage, what are you wearing? What? This is just my sleeping shirt. I don't want to change out of it.
God.
Mom found the cum shirt. Oh my god.
Mom found the piss drawer.
The
That's my
poop sock. The piss drawer. Because the crazy thing about the piss drawer is that one's real. Like, there's a real picture of a kid crying next to a drawer filled with, like, this piss.
Oh my god.
Like that definitely is a not unreasonable. Like I could totally imagine a kid thinking like,
It's like, I really don't have to walk across the hall. And, you know,
I'm a fucking genius.
I'm a
You know what else is
genius.
real? The shit on anime figures box. Have you seen that picture? I've seen it like 50 times in the last week. This guy on 4chan posted this picture of like a plastic box he owned, and has like the first picture is just an anime figurine in the box, and then the second picture it just has a giant load of shit on it. And then the next picture, he's got 3 figures in there, and it's just progressively filled with more and more shit. Yeah.
I don't know how to respond. To that.
Yeah, I don't. That's.
I'm trying to.
Imagine if you started off like on a date, you just go up to your date and you're like, you go on 4chan a lot?
You
What's that? I don't know what that is. You see has your mom found your anime poop box?
4chan has ruined my sense of humor because I just think terrible shit is funny. Like, there's this video of this girl just caking a wall in diarrhea because she was filming her ass trying to take a shit on like some wall in a public restroom, but I guess she didn't know that she was about to diarrhea explosion all over the wall. And the last frame of the video is like her face in shock, like because she was not expecting to diarrhea on the wall. And I think that's fucking hilarious. I think that's fucking hilarious. I told my parents about it. They didn't think it was funny.
Yeah, I don't.
It's understandably a niche market.
It's a pretty niche market. Hey, at least it doesn't turn you on. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, I also think CBT videos are funny. So
Yeah, that's true. Which that was the last episode though. We don't need to go into that again. But I don't know. Maybe it's just quarantine has made my humor really not like insanely dark. But for one of my classes, I had to watch like 24 student short films, and like 3 of them were good. But one of them that was actually pretty good that I wish had ended differently was like it has this whole lead up of this kid thinking he had like superpowers like Spider-Man, but it was just like a coincidence that like these things were happening that like seemed like a superpower. And in the very end, he jumps off of a roof to see if he can fly because he thinks he's a bee man, like a bee, but as like a person, says Spider-Man. And instead, he falls off the roof and like breaks his limbs. And in one of the final, like it fades to black after he jumps off the roof. And then when it fades back in, it's just him in a wheelchair staring out of a window. And I started dying laughing. And then the next clip is him like running into like the trash cans in his kitchen trying to like get around to the table. And I was like, dude, I really hope it just ends right here because that'd be the funniest way to end. Just some dude thinks he can fly and he cripples himself. And then it just ends with him just ramming into a metal bin. But no, it didn't end like that. And I told the teacher, I was like, I wish it ended like this. And he was like, actually, we workshopped it. And that was the original idea, but we convinced the director not to do it that way because it was too depressing. And apparently it won an award at a film festival for a student film. So
I actually wrote a short story kind of similar to that. where this kid thought if he cut his feet off, he could fly. So he cuts his feet off and jumps off a cliff and dies.
I just, the crazy stuff like that, I just find really, really funny. Sometimes it's like it doesn't hit as hard.
I think it's absurdity.
Yeah.
Absurdity is what makes it funny. 'Cause
Yeah.
the memes we find are funny are absurd memes.
Like comedy epilepsy.
Right. So that when we see something that's genuinely absurd in real life, like a girl diarrheaing on a wall, of course I'm going to laugh.
I think I would be pretty disgusted, but thinking about it later, I would probably be like, what?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
But the director I was talking about earlier who made the ramen western. Mm-hmm. I think it might have been the first movie he made. It's called The Funeral. And it was insanely popular in Japan, but didn't really do well in the Western market because it was such like specific to Japanese culture.
Okay.
And one of the main things that was specific to Japanese culture is the Japanese like kind of absurdist style of humor.
Right.
And they're also a little bit more like open about like sexual humor than the U.S. is. The U.S. is pretty conservative when it comes to like sexual kind of humor in movies. And one of them is the premise of the story is the wife, her dad dies suddenly from a heart attack. And so they go to this funeral. And then at the funeral, the husband has like an affair, like just a one-off affair, randomly just a scene thrown in there, never mentioned again. And like while the affair is happening, it's just cutting back and forth between like the husband having the affair and then the wife just like on this like rocking log, just like in tranquility. And I thought it was hilarious because it's like the absurdity of it is just like
The juxtaposition.
where when I looked at reviews, the reviews were like, wow, this is a really good movie. It's kind of an interesting look into like modern Japanese culture. But what was up with that scene with the affair? Like, was that really necessary? Like I saw close to a dozen reviews that mentioned that scene specifically. So it wasn't like the funniest thing ever, but that's like an example of like edging towards what I find funny at this point, I guess.
No, I'd totally agree with that. Like, I don't want to get too into movies, but like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas with Johnny Depp. I mean, that movie, I thought that movie was hilarious.
Just the insanity. A movie I haven't seen yet, but I do want to see. It's Ty's favorite movie, I think, so I should watch it.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. Absurdity is just funny, but it's like, comedy's subjective, but it's definitely the thing that I find the funniest right now.
But not XD random. That's not absurd.
No, that's not absurd. There's a very, very it's
an incredibly thin line.
It's a thin line, but it's very emboldened.
Yeah,
it's very much there.
Thin line, but when you look at one side compared to the other, it's very distinct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or it's like, there's the movie The Lobster, which is like a pretty dark comedy, like a really weird dystopian style comedy.
Saharan levels of dry.
So insanely dry. Like one of the jokes is this dude is caught jerking off, so his punishment he has to put his masturbation hand into a toaster and turn it on. And that's like a joke. But like, that's kind of like that's kind of random and absurd, but it's not XD random. Mm-hmm. Where it's like XD random would be like, oh, put your hand into a toaster, but with no actual purpose behind it.
No, XD random would be like, isn't it weird that when you grab your blue out of the cupboard and put your hand in the toaster and your egg timer says you have a meeting at 11:30? Isn't that so relatable, guys?
That's XD random. You guys still have friends that use XD unironically?
Yes.
Yeah. What's up with that? Emojis exist.
He thought circumcision was cutting your balls off.
Oh.
He still thinks XD is epic.
Oh, it's this. Yeah, it's this guy.
Except I think he has a lowercase x, capital D.
I don't know if that's...
Is
that better or worse?
I think it's... somehow worse.
It seems like there's like more effort put into it.
Normal XD is putrid. Lowercase x is like, what the fuck's going on?
What are you doing? It's like off balance now.
It's I think it's actually got like in the case you're referring to, it's got like the vibe of self-awareness where you think it's just so goddamn stupid that like there's got to be a hint of irony, but there isn't.
It's like when I say
That's
epic, where it's like I've been saying epic ironically for the last 2 years, and now I just say it.
Yeah, that's kind of like me with That Rocks, where I use it for like everything.
Rock on.
Yeah, like rock on. Or like I got put in like the regular senior English class senior year, even though I was taking English through the college. And first, I was in it for like 2 days, and then they finally dropped me out of the course. They did that 2 years in a row. I got put in junior English too. I don't know. But second day of class, the last day I was in the class, the teacher was like, please do not use slang in your essays. You know, just really basic stuff they're talking about in senior English. They're like, please, the only piece of slang that I will allow in your essay is the word cool. That is the only piece of slang that has transcended like multiple generations without any hints of irony.
Even that, like, oh my God.
Yeah, even that would be kind of weird to use in an essay.
You're really using that in your essay?
I mean, it is senior English. But the teacher was talking about different kinds of slang, and she wasn't getting into like racial slang, thankfully. Do people use the N-word in essays still? Teacher.
Is it just me, guys? I'm trying to figure that out.
Anyways, but she was like, oh yeah, the word radical. Do people even still say the word rad?
I love rad.
And I raised my hand. Only person in the entire classroom to raise my hand. She was like, you still use radical? And I was like, yeah, it's a fun word.
It is fun.
I like using colorful language, but not in like the obscene way. Like, it's just fun.
I wrote a really mean essay once.
Yeah.
Where I just insulted the author the whole time. It's pretty fun.
That sounds.
It got a 2 out of 9.
Oh.
Ouch.
That sucks.
I know.
Dang.
That's funny though, because that's basically the entire of like the entirety of legal jurisprudence is just like that class. The class I'm taking currently is just ridiculously overqualified political theorist after another, just like absolutely shitting all over some guy's theory. Just like, this guy is wrong, and I'm going to ruin your life.
Oh, I love reading stuff that just tears
like,
it open.
We wrote an essay that got really low scores, like class-wide, and then she said, okay, you guys can take this essay again next week, and whatever scores higher you can keep. So the second essay, I said, I've never been a dickhead on paper. So I just absolutely lampooned this guy, because his whole thing was, children these days watch TV in the car. Oh my God. Someday we'll have to tell our children that we actually used to have to look out windows in the car. It's so fucking stupid. So the whole essay, I was just calling him a pussy juvenoist who is afraid of technology advancing, just for like 2 or 3 pages of that. She's like, this is really mean. Please don't write like this in my class.
That's like really probably funny. My least favorite way of criticizing modern society, though, is like,
it's not the same as it was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's still stupid because even back then, they're like, oh, we got a color television. Let's spend like 900 hours surrounding it. Like, people have been figuring out ways to avoid people and like be antisocial since the dawn of fucking time.
It's like the picture comparison where it's like a picture of a subway in New York and everybody's looking at their phone, and then it's 80 years prior where it's like,
and they're all looking at newspapers.
They're all just looking at newspapers. It's like, wow, it's almost like people don't want to socially interact in public in general.
Right.
Especially
it's the same lot. The video games cause violence, dumbasses. It's like, God, what are you on?
What are you
Have you ever
smoking,
like?
dude?
I just wish one of these people would actually play a video game. Is my
Yeah.
like.
Well, none of
Give it a
them are
whirl.
playing.
See how it actually like feels. If you have the desire to like go on a mass murder spree, then you know what, more power to you. But it's like
I remember there was one shooting that I can think of that like might have been connected to video games, where the perpetrator was caught and he was like, "Oh, I did it because of Halo," which out of all the video games to choose, Halo. Like, that doesn't really make much sense. You like Hitman, okay. Call of Duty, okay. Halo,
the disconnect from reality there is pretty hard to translate
strong.
to the real world.
it's a pretty cartoonish FPS.
You know what I think's crazy? Mussolini showed Hitler a copy of Super Mario Brothers, and then Hitler genocided the Jews. What more evidence do we need?
It's that simple, folks.
Yeah, I was playing TF2 as the pyro, so that's why I went into a gymnasium and just, burned them all. All of them. Just a mass pyrotechnic raid. Pyromania. Yeah, it's absurd. There's a lot of fallacy connection. Oh, I've been watching a lot of The Simpsons, and there was a really good, Simpson. There was a really good there was a good there was a good joke about fallacies in there where it was Bart talking to his dad, and Bart is like, "Dad, you're jumping, or no, Dad, you're getting stuck in the mob mentality," and he says, "What? No, I'm not. I'm just hopping on the bandwagon." And I thought that was really funny. I laughed out loud at that one.
You lolled.
I lolled. What year did Seinfeld come out? 89? I feel like I'd be the only person to know this fact, but, just asking.
Yeah, definitely asking an empty room.
Okay.
Are you only asking because I'm Jewish?
No. No, what I wanted to say was...
That's part of it, though.
Seinfeld and The Simpsons, arguably two of the most influential, modern pieces of,
They've never
comedic
influenced
television.
me, so...
Well, not you, but, in general.
Societally speaking, they were pretty damn.
In American comedy, they're two of the most influential pieces of TV comedy.
Not Futurama?
Futurama was made by the dude who made The Simpsons.
Yeah, okay.
So I feel like The Simpsons, obviously influenced that, so.
Seinfeld was wild, too, because
They came out in the same year, that's what I want to say.
there were sitcoms before that, but this one, Jerry Seinfeld literally set out and said, "I'm going to make a show about nothing."
And it is.
And that's like an impressive, that was sort of a concept of comedy that wasn't really used before. It was a lot of, the one-liners and the rim shots and things like that.
And
Jerry Seinfeld's an asshole, though.
Oh, yeah. But he's one of those,
but he's funny.
Yeah. He's one of the ones where I still get, a kick out of him. But he's so, uptight, self-righteous. But apparently he has been from the very start. He's never actually changed. Yeah, I can't believe he died in that bicycle accident, though.
Horrifying, truly.
Yeah.
I actually saw him live not too long ago. I think about 2 years now.
Yeah, I think I heard he came pretty close by.
He went to the Pack at Cal Poly.
That's what it was, yeah.
And
I was gonna go.
I'm told he's apparently his thing is he's just the master of the joke construction. He'll spend months at a time on single bits, just making them perfect.
Yeah, where it's if Jerry Seinfeld's comedy, it's one of those ones where it's you either you like it or you don't, because it's kind of old fashioned at this point.
Right.
But if you like it, it lands every single time. I'm okay with his stand-up. I think Seinfeld is one of my favorite shows, but his stand-up is okay for me. But yeah, and then the Larry David, and then what are some other shows that are pretty influential now? I think the next wave of influential shows to be important in American television is Arrested Development and Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Still haven't seen Always Sunny. I was enjoying Arrested Development. I haven't finished that one yet. It was one of those shows that I kept. It was just this one. It was funny, but it was this downward spiral. I kind of got I got tired where it was like physically and mentally draining where I was just
There's
like,
so much like
keeps
connected
going
plot.
wrong.
I got this like box set of Arrested Development, and I called Dane. I was like, "Yo, Dane, I picked up this box set of Arrested Development for you. I'll bring it." And Dane was like, "Oh, I don't know why you would do that, but okay." So I have the Arrested Development in the back of my car, and I've just left it there, and I still haven't given it to Dane. And I got it months ago.
Is it
And
in the back of your car right now?
Yeah, every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I should hurry up and give that to Dane. And then I don't.
And then you don't. I think it's owned by Netflix now, but
Yeah, the
they could
final
still-
season I think is actually a Netflix original.
Yeah, I watched the first half of it because they released the first half all at once, and then they released the second half later on. But the last season, the first half was pretty underwhelming, so I never went back. But I still should watch it because I just want to at least see it finish.
And just to clarify, are we only talking about influential shows like for comedy, or are we talking about
Just in
influential
general.
shows?
I only really watch comedy TV shows. I don't really get invested in
like,
dramas as much.
Breaking Bad.
I was gonna say Breaking Bad. That kind of sort of started a major trend of like televised dramas,
Yeah.
I haven't
very
seen
specific style.
Well, it felt like Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, and Game of Thrones all kind of rose to popularity all at once.
The Walking Dead was
Sucked.
like the first.
What?
The first, I think, 6 seasons were molten gold. I missed years of my I missed days of my sophomore year in high school to watch that show. It was so damn good because it like understood that like zombies are an overdone concept in media.
Yeah.
And they were like, so that's not what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on the people. And then the 8th season, arguably the 7th as well, but the 8th season especially screwed it up so horribly.
Yeah. Well, now it's like because of Walking Dead, the idea of like, oh, let's focus more so on the people than the zombies is now an overplayed
That show is
aspect.
still going.
But yeah, it's still going. It's
into
insane.
its like 10th season.
All of the main characters from the original seasons are gone. I think Rick is just like, hey, I'm getting in a helicopter. See you guys.
Yeah.
And he's gone.
I don't need
And he is the main character. He's been there since episode 1.
past the 8th season. I just couldn't do it.
My mom still
couldn't
watches
keep
it.
going.
And then there's Fear the Walking Dead, which has like apparently
They're
like
making another spinoff.
yeah.
Are they really?
It's got the kid who voiced Gumball from The Amazing World of Gumball. The third one, Junkie Janker. He's in it. I remember he was advertising it a bunch when I watched his streams a few times. Apparently, it's really bad. Like it's
Sounds bad.
like even worse than Fear the Walking Dead, which is considered pretty mediocre.
Everybody shits all over the 8th season of Game of Thrones, but Game of Thrones remains my favorite show, just period. Like, that show was amazingly good.
I don't think like a single season can ruin the entire like.
I don't even think the 8th season was that bad. I mean, like, I saw 60 Minutes on, like, the opening of the final season. Like, they said that premiere for the 8th season had 200 million viewers.
Whoa, that's
200
insane.
million viewers worldwide. And I think that, like, what happened with that one is...
And this is
had a-
legal viewers too. Like a lot
yeah.
of people pirate Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah. And but this
And
was...
it leaked, didn't it?
It might have. I don't know.
probably
I didn't pay much
did.
attention, but
But
that.
I think the show ended up suffering from like a really, really vocal 500,000 or so people who were like, oh, it sucks. And I don't really think it did. I thought it tied off the show in ways that made a lot of sense. And like some of the cinematography in that 8th season was
I've heard it was
like,
pretty amazing.
top notch.
I had friends telling me to watch it because they thought the cinematography was so good, and I was into that.
Yeah, and there were a couple of flaws. There were some moments where I was like, okay, you know, there was definitely an obvious divide from maybe what the writer's initial vision was, but I mean, he kept missing deadlines.
Yeah, I mean, what? It's been like close to a decade
It's
since
because he's a fucking dying old man and is developing dementia and can't figure out what he
He
wants
just
to
couldn't.
write.
He couldn't finish it.
he's on the second to last book. He's not even on the last book, and it still hasn't released. But
It'll never release. I think he'll die before it releases.
I think he'll get the second to last book out, but I don't think we'll ever get a true finale.
final one.
Yeah. We'll probably get something like the
They're working on some Game of Thrones game also that he's supposed to be helping with.
Oh no.
But I mean, that's going to be in development hell for
I mean,
eternity.
he's not a healthy dude. He's pretty overweight.
I'm also told we're supposed to be getting a spin-off of that show, actually.
I think I heard about that.
Like a prequel deal where they do the first, like 1,000 years prior to when the show starts, when like the White Walkers
So it'll
first
be
roll
like
up.
in the Roman era instead of the medieval era.
I guess so.
I guess like the equivalent, yeah, I guess. But
God, I love
did you hear they're already in very early pre-production for a Harry Potter new series.
Really?
Yeah.
Heard about this.
It's
doesn't
supposed to come out.
surprise me, no.
It's not supposed to come out till 2025 though, because that's when the license expires for
2025.
whoever owns it.
I feel
Warner
like
Brothers or
it's not going to be good though. Actually, if they change whoever is doing it, maybe.
if they
It's
keep
like,
J.K. Rowling as much out of it as possible, it'll be good.
That's really
well,
the solution.
that's like part of it is like J.K. Rowling is like, let's make what's it called? Fantastic Beasts and Fantastic Beasts too. And I was
And
like,
they're-
whoa, that's a giant load of shit, guys.
I really haven't heard anything about those movies.
I heard the best part of it was when they went back to Hogwarts for like a scene.
I heard they came out and vanished from public memory.
There was a Broadway and like
There's supposed to be like 6 of these movies.
Are there really?
yeah.
And only, I think right now we're still waiting for number 3 to come
Yeah.
out. But number 2 sucked really bad,
Yeah.
according to everyone who's ever watched it, apparently.
There was a play of it as well, Harry Potter, the Cursed Child or something.
Yeah, which
I saw ads for that everywhere when I was.
J.K. Rowling decided to make canon because she was like, fuck it, I can't write anymore and I want to make money. That was a fan fiction, by the way,
Really?
that she just made canon, even though no one wanted her to.
I mean, that happens in
No,
the
plot-
old Star Wars universe. That's kind of how it went.
The plot is just that Harry's a shitty dad.
Really?
Yeah.
What? That's
His-
awesome.
His son is a Slytherin and he fucking hates it.
Oh, that's so funny.
That is
That's hilarious. Oh man, I want to see it now.
Although I think most of the Star Wars extended universe was actually pretty thoughtfully put together,
It
all
was.
things considered. And then
Yeah.
Disney's like retroactively uncanonized all of it, apparently.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
a real shame.
I want to talk about Star Wars, actually. This was actually on the back of my mind while we were talking about Game of Thrones. How, like, I don't think, like, certain, like bad parts of a series can ruin the entire legacy of something that's actually pretty great.
That's true.
And Star Wars is obviously a pretty big, like, contemporary one, kind of on the same level as Game of Thrones. Where,
Yeah.
Probably on a bigger scale, actually. I'd
Probably one of
Honestly-
the most influential science fiction series ever.
yeah.
Period.
Oh, yeah. But this is my take on the whole movie trilogy. So 1 through 9. So the first 3 are, on paper, the most interesting. Where it's like so much insane amount of like creativity, and they now have like CGI at their disposal, and it's like the politics of it, but the execution was just bricking a ball.
And sorry, we're talking about like Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith, right?
Where like you think about it, where it's like, man, like all those characters and like the places they went to were so much more interesting than anything else in the Star Wars universe, in the movies at least. But oh, they're so bad. Like you think about scenes where it's like, I love you like a brother, Anakin. I hate you. Like so bad.
There's a lot of, and again, I really disliked the most recent trilogy, but like that and that trilogy too, all of these movies, regardless of their overall quality, had good moments.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
even the Phantom Menace, largely considered to be the
I mean, the
worst
pod
of all-
racing
of the
sequence
9.
doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Where it's like, oh, they just need to buy a new battery for their spaceship. That's literally the whole point of the pod race. I think. I honestly don't even
But
remember.
then you get that lightsaber battle at the end with Darth
Duel the
Maul,
Fates.
Darth
and they
Maul's
had like
cool.
they had the soundtrack, and it
So
was
awesome.
wild. The fight choreography was on point.
I haven't liked anything that Star Wars has put out, though.
Mandalorian
And,
was cool.
Like,
God, the Mandalorian.
I was actually just about to talk about the Mandalorian. Like, even like the not mainline stuff. The Mandalorian, I haven't watched too much of it, but I really don't like the Mandalorian's voice.
Really?
Yeah, it really bothers me. And then
Yeah.
Solo, holy shit, I hated that movie
I thought it was
so
pretty
bad.
boring. Rogue One, last 30 minutes, some of the best, like,
I loved Rogue One.
last 30 minutes.
Solo,
I think Rogue One was the best that they put out, but that still doesn't make it good for me, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Solo, I actually kind of enjoyed that. I thought that I got to give credit to like the main actor. I think he did a good job of bringing sort of the solo-y vibe. And
That's true. He did do a really good job. As
Do you not think what's his name who played Lando Calrissian? Not sure.
Oh, Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not sure he quite nailed that.
Awaken My Child, his album, and then his show Atlanta are like two of like my favorite pieces of media in like both the respective.
Oh, I like
categories.
Donald Glover. Like he did a good job.
Yeah, but
I really liked his little role in The Martian. Remember that?
Yeah, that's just kind of the nerdy dude. For being how cool he is, he plays a good nerd, which is weird.
I think the thing with Donald Glover for me is that when I see him in an acting role, I'm like, that's the This Is America guy. And like, that's all I can think.
This is America.
Because, I mean, that was the first time I was exposed to him.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, he was making music and stuff before that. But, like, you know, I don't pay attention to music at all. So when I see Donald Glover I think we saw him in Black Klansman. Was he?
No, I don't think he was in Black Klansman. He was in.
Oh, I'm thinking of Kylo Ren.
He was in.
He was, wasn't he?
Homecoming. He was in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah, but
He's also
that was like for me, Solo. I don't remember like the acting being bad or anything, but I just felt like it was really corny. And then like one thing I really don't like when I see a movie is if I can think like, okay, these are the things I think are gonna happen.
Oh yeah,
exactly like
you
this.
predicted the entire movie,
and then the entire movie just was what I thought was gonna happen from start to finish. Which, you know. Disney hire me because I guess I could have written Solo as well, but that like really neutered my nuts when I felt like this was like a waste of time, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so now on to the original trilogy, which is not much more to say because it's like edging on what, like 40 years old now.
You know what?
Good God, is it really?
I'm gonna say it. Fuck George Lucas for making Luke changed his blue lightsaber to a green one.
Why?
I think the green is cooler.
I think
Green
the
looks
blue
way
is
cooler with the black, especially with his like episode 6 outfit.
Oh, his
Got,
episode
like, that
6
whole-
outfit is so awesome.
It does look kick ass.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just kind of a perfect trilogy. Like the only trilogy that I can think of that kind of tops it is Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings movies. I really have to give credit to those movies came out after the books, and on paper those movies are impossible to make. Those books were so goddamn long.
Dense. They're so dense.
There's so much detail and so much like.
And then you get into like
little
Silmarillion
nuance.
stuff, and man,
And they pulled those movies off with remarkable.
what Return of the King is tied with Ben-Hur for the most Oscar award-winning movie ever.
I didn't know that.
I think it's like 7. It's a lot.
Apparently, actually, the Tolkien family has been really stingy with the canon. So there's been a lot of sort of like Star Wars-esque attempts to make extended universe stuff, and they never make anything canon.
Yeah.
They just refuse to. But like back to the Star Wars thing. I mean, I think those, the original trilogy is, it was so goddamn good. I really want I assume that Disney's not going to let this cash cow die, and I assume that we're going to.
They're already starting up a new trilogy. I think within the decade. Excuse me, within the decade.
Yeah, I have no doubts about that. But what I'd really love to see is like peak of his life Luke Skywalker, because again, you kind of have to like know something about the extended universe for it. But we see him at the very beginning of his journey with the Force, and then at the very end.
Yeah.
But in the extended universe, they go pretty in depth into like him being an absolute fucking badass. Like he can move, entire fleets with the Force, and he can like wield
insane.
2 lightsabers so fast that it like he looks like a blur. He can't even like people can't even see him.
I think that's really cool too, but I think it's gonna like that won't ever happen because of like the same reason we don't see that with like comic book movies. You know, we only see like the kind of main easy surface level shit for comic book movies. We're never gonna see a movie of Spider-Man becoming Captain Universe, even though that does happen in the comics. Or we're never going to see the movie where Doc Ock and Spider-Man switch bodies and Doc Ock becomes a super badass Spider-Man. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Which actually brings me to the sequel movies, the newest ones, where the first one, I'll lay out the problems with all of them. And I like The Force Awakens. It's actually in, like, probably my top 3, like, it's not a big list, but, like, Star Wars-related things. I like it a lot. But it's not original. It's not original at all. It's about 80% a ripoff of A New Hope. Second one, some of the highlights of Star Wars are in that movie, but some of the like Flying Leia, that was so awful. God. And then the Casino Island or Casino Planet, like some of the lowest points. It was so insanely ambitious.
How do you make a Casino Planet low?
Yeah, that should be like a pretty cool part.
It's true.
Like course
that romance they crowbarred in there for no reason.
Like it was so obviously
Every movie needs a romantic subplot, Henry.
Like Rian Johnson, the director, is obviously a good director. He made Knives Out, and he did the Ozymandias episode of Breaking Bad, which is considered like one of the greatest episodes of any piece of media ever. Which is the second last episode of Breaking Bad. For those who don't know, and like. Some of the scenes are just incredible and like, I don't know. Yeah, just too overambitious. And then the last one, episode 9, was like, oh, that never happened. And they just completely backtracked. So it was too underambitious. But one aspect that I hear about with the last one is people talking about like, wait, Palpatine was like a clone the entire time? That doesn't make any sense. When actually they apparently took that from like a book that was considered canon in like the Legends series, where that was actually a plot line that was given, but it's one of those things that's like too absurd for like the mainstream audience to kind of like accept.
So, I never really had much trouble with like Palpatine rolling back up. I know that was people's main flaw with that movie, but like personally, I hated the new trilogy.
Yeah.
I liked the in-between stuff. I enjoyed Solo enough for it to be entertaining and loved Rogue One. But the first one, again, lack of originality. I just really didn't like the whole getting the whole gang back together sort of aesthetic it had going.
Me and Gage saw that the day it came out.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, so did I.
And I remember being like, oh, wow. This is just
Star
the first
Wars.
movie.
Well, and the fight choreography, I didn't think I was going to have a problem with that, but like even the bad movies and the original and like the Phantom Menace, that sort of thing, had good lightsaber battles.
Yeah,
and
like
none of these movies.
they were a little bit hammed up. Like the final Obi-Wan and Anakin battle on Mustaf, I can't remember what it's called, the lava planet.
Right.
It's like super hammed up. Mustafar. Like there's one Mustafar, where they're literally just like like just like doing X's and not even hitting each other for like a solid like 3 seconds.
Right, but it was cool.
But it's cool. It's like
awesome.
the choreography obviously had a ton of effort put into it.
Right. And again, all 3 of these movies had like cool moments. Like I think they did a good job with the actual realization of the First Order. So like in Force Awakens, I really liked how they had like that one scene where they had the big Death Star like thing.
Yeah.
And they
Star Killer Base, which actually is a reference to Luke's original last name. Funny enough, it's supposed to be Luke Starkiller.
I thought it was Sky Killer or something.
I think it's Skywalker now, but I think it was Starkiller originally.
I remember a lot of the names were goofy, like Darth Insanius.
Yeah.
There's like one other weird one.
Yeah, all the original designs were a lot goofier. They definitely refined them when they put them into the movie.
Oh, like that one Sith like assassin or whatever who had essentially he was just a cyborg who had a bunch of lightsabers strapped to him, so many in fact that like they had to make his body out of like think metal so that the lightsabers would deactivate instead of stabbing him. Like that's an actual
The extended universe gets crazy.
Yeah,
in any extended universe, I love those. Like the authors are like, how can I make something as ridiculous as possible but still entertaining?
And then you dig deep enough and you're like, oh, here's the part where Luke Skywalker was actually God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. I mean, they get to that point. The third and final movie of the most recent trilogy, I think that's probably some of the worst pacing I've ever seen in a movie. Like the first act pacing of that.
Yeah,
was
first act abysmal. Second act is actually
better,
really solid pacing, and then third act is like, oh, I just dropped the ball again.
But I mean, like, I love how they brought up subplots and just completely forgot about them. Where they were like, all right, so Rey at the very beginning of the movie is like, oh, I'm screwing up in my training. I am not worthy of this lightsaber. Gives it to Leia, and then Leia's like, I need you to go do some shit for me. Here's the lightsaber back. Let's never talk about this ever again. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the hero's journey is the rejection of the journey, and then like they're like, no, you need to do it. And
but it happens that fast.
Yeah.
It was like, bam, 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 bam.
That aspect of the hero's journey is like one of the most important, and it is like one of the fastest. Literally, it can be like between like a few shots, but it's crucial. And if like they drop the ball on it, like they kind of did with that, then it's definitely not nearly as effective as it needs to be.
That one scene in the second movie, though, whoever came up with that idea where it was like the ship like hyperdriving right into the other ship. That was awesome. Where it goes black and white and totally dead silent.
Oh,
loved that. However, I will also, with the other hand, slap the director across the face for not having it be Admiral, what's his name, Akbar.
Oh yeah.
Drives it like it was.
He dies at the beginning, doesn't he? Like
I know that was so stupid.
Oh, whoops.
They did it off screen.
Yeah.
I was like, why? That was a perfect way for him to go out. It was even like a ship from the Mon Calamari people.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally his ship that they did it with.
Yeah. That's...
What are you doing?
Dude, they had like every single piece of special effect in the sequels was like incredible. Like they had the best special effects. They had all of the acting, I would say, was pretty on point and sometimes even excelled. I still think Adam Driver is like one of the best like not directors, one of the best actors right now, because I've seen him in stuff outside of Star Wars.
Yeah, I like Adam Driver.
Daisy Ridley she kind of hitting that sort of Carrie Fisher sort of wall where it's like she's made all the money she could need to live like 50 lifetimes because of Star Wars, but nobody's going to hire her because she's the girl from Star Wars, and they're like, we just can't dissociate you with that. Where she didn't really have much of an acting career outside of just like little BBC stuff, while both the dude who played Finn and Kylo Ren, Adam Driver, both had pretty solid acting careers already.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, the sequels had everything going for them, and
See, that's what killed me about it, was the fact that Disney has access to all of the money in the world.
Yeah.
They could have gotten
They
directors...
could have made it like a Lord of the Rings.
Oh, they could have made
movie.
a flawless trilogy. They could have gotten any director in the world.
And J.J. Abrams.
Why did they choose J.J. goddamn Abrams?
He's like Steven Spielberg, but like the watered down version.
The bargain bin.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. They could have gotten anyone.
An adequate job. And that's why I think Rian Johnson was a better choice. But the problem is each director wrote each movie. Like they were like, okay, this movie's done. Now we should probably start writing the next one, or like something on that level. Like they didn't actually have a solid plan. Right. That's why the 9th episode, the last of the sequels, felt so weirdly out of place, because it was like, oh, we need to wrap this up, and we really don't want to pay attention to a lot of the controversial stuff in episode 8, which I think they should have just full sent it and been like, screw you guys. We know that you hate this movie, but we're going to pile into the ground. And I think it might have been more well received, because at least
I think it would have, because they at least stick to their artistic guns. They say, okay, I know you guys hated that dumbass romance, but if then it would have at least made it seem like
they could have made
an artistic choice.
Yeah,
not just this committee designed.
We need to make money, guys.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it felt like.
Yeah. Apparently that happened with Solo. What happened was they had a duo director. I can't remember who it was. They directed Solo up until 90% of it was done, and then they switched to Ron Howard right at the very, very end. Yeah. So Ron Howard, I think, is listed as the director, even though he didn't direct a lot of it, and that completely changed the tone of the movie.
I actually really liked Woody Harrelson in that movie.
Woody Harrelson, he's good.
I'm kind of surprised. It made me actually surprised that he hasn't been in a Star Wars movie before, because he totally has sort of
that kind of look.
Well, and a good bounty hunter vibe to him.
Yeah,
I saw that one. There was some Western he did, The Showdown, I think.
I haven't seen that one.
Not great. Missing it will not haunt you to your dying days. Okay, but cool. He at least has the vibe down for that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Crap, what is... Oh, Bill Burr. He was in The Mandalorian.
He was, yeah.
Everything he acts in, he surprises me with how good he is. Because you just kind of think of him as the angry Bostonian comedian.
He was in Breaking Bad, too. I didn't, realize that until... And then
last night I watched the Judd Apatow movie, King of Staten Island, which is it's got the dude from SNL with all the tattoos, Pete Davidson, the one who dated Ariana Grande, and Bill Burr was in that. He was one of the main characters, and he was really good in that too. So
I've not seen that movie yet.
I just got added to HBO Max. I watched it while going for my jog.
Gotcha.
On a treadmill. I wasn't jogging outside.
I was
just holding my phone. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, but VR, you got a headset on.
He's just and the Dane's out going for a run again. It was at 11:30 at night.
So much shit.
Oh, yeah. Especially I used to live on hills, just
hitting mailboxes and shit.
Yeah. I trip and fall and just roll down the entire hill. Oh, that'd be so awesome.
But hey, this character development's pretty good.
Oh, look at Bill Burr go.
It's gyroscopic.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about movies anymore. Okay. Bye.
Well, we're not done. We still got more time left. What, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Big Piss Burger.
That's it?
I've actually had a major hankering for some Sylvesters lately.
I need to pee.
Oh, this feels good.
I think I'm gonna probably hit it up this weekend, because
I swore to never go there ever again.
Why? Now we need to finish on this story.
I'm not talking about it.
Do it.
I'd order food from there and have it delivered to me, but I can never show my face there.
Okay. Well, on that note, I guess it's time to end.
Big Piss Burger.
Yep.
You know what they say.
Pat.
I really don't, actually.
I guess it's that.
Big Piss Burger is what they say.
Got it.
Okay, that's it.